to episode 60. Holy fuck, we're already on 60?
Damn, dude.
Well, welcome to another episode of the Wilderness Podcast. I am your host, Dills, and with me, as always, is Deegan.
Hey, how's it going?
The going's good, as always. How's it going with you? How's the saga of Deegan and his education?
So chances are, well, not chances are, so I'm gonna drop for this semester and maybe next semester.
Nice.
I don't know if I talked about it on the last podcast, but like,
I think briefly we touched upon it.
so our semester got extended into like late January, but my program wants to end the semester a week early, which would mean like every week would be like a compressed week where we'd be having multiple assignments to do, which is fine, but each assignment we get, so generally we'll get like an assignment and it'll be, like say, you'd probably spend like maybe half the amount on the final. So let's say like the final submission is like 20 hours. You'd spend the first week like 10 hours doing the rough copy. And then you'd go like make a meeting with your professor, and then you like talk to him, you fix what he wants you to fix. And then for the next week, you spend 20 hours doing it. So what they would do is they'd have every week would just be a final. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
okay.
like over the course
so.
of, so you'd have to put like 30 hours ish over the course of like 2 weeks to get an assignment done, to like do it well. I mean, you could get it done in like 20 minutes, but you're going to fail, right?
Sure.
Like they even have like time stamps, like the average time to complete would be 20 hours for this project. Every time you get a new one, they give you like how much time you should spend on it. And for me, it usually takes longer because like I'm not artistically skilled, I guess. Anyways,
Okay.
I'm kind of rambling, but they're changing it so like every week you just have to hand in like a final, which would mean you have way more hours. And then on Mondays, I have like a bunch of classes and you get assigned another project each week that takes about 8 hours. But because of the Christmas break and New Year's and stuff, we lose 2 Mondays, which means we're going to have to do like 2 a week. So it's 16 hours plus the 20 plus my 2 math classes. You know what I mean? It's like outside of school, it's like a full-time job pretty much of like just doing projects. And then if I don't have to study for like my materials classes or my math classes, which you have to, like materials is literally like, here's 1,000 things you need to know about wood. Memorize them. You know what I mean? All right, next topic.
It burns. That's one.
It's fucked. You have to, yeah, there's so much shit you have to know though. And, yeah, I don't know. And it'd be like this for the next semester too. And like, I know if I don't, like, I'm just gonna get burnt out and I'm gonna fail or some shit. I'm not gonna do well if I have that much work to do. So it's like, you know what? I could just kind of tap out, get my money back. That's kind of the biggest factor is I get my money back and I'm not wasting like $3,000 or whatever.
Damn, dude, that's like a lot of bonds you could be buying.
Yeah, for real. That's actually the main reason. All the bonds. But,
priorities.
yeah. So I started looking for jobs and stuff, in the meantime. And, I don't know. I'm, looking into upgrading my internet. I might actually get into streaming.
Ooh, a little teaser.
I mean, I've streamed a couple times in the past, but it's usually for like an hour and I'm just dicking around with my buddies. I don't know. I have to find like what I would, cause like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to like, hey guys, come watch me burst, monkeys while you know what I mean? Like, usually I watch Netflix.
Okay. I've done some intensive research, and this is how you do it. First thing you need is a whiteboard behind you.
Yeah.
And you need some booty shorts.
Yeah, already got those.
And then, okay, good. Every time you get a viewer or a subscriber, anytime you just know someone's name who comes up in your chat or whatever it is, they donate money, they subscribe, they follow, you turn around, you bend over. Oh, make sure the whiteboard's like placed pretty low. So you can bend over and then you write their name in it.
Like it's on the floor? Like I have to
that's
literally yoga bend, touch my toes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Don't bend my knees. All right.
Mm-hmm. That's one technique. I think that's.
I already I was already planning on squatting per subscriber and for bits.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You could do some Just Dance.
Yep.
That's a good one. Just Dance.
I don't have it, but it's fine. I'll just look up YouTube videos.
Yeah, just YouTube videos. Yeah, I think I'm all out of ideas.
Yeah. I don't know, it's hard because I don't really, like, sit there. I mean, those times where I'll play a game for, like, 8 hours or something, right? 5 of the time, I can sit there and play
Sure.
one game, but, like, as of recent, I'm kind of jumping around in a lot of games, and it's like, there's no way for me to make it interesting for someone to watch my stream, so I just haven't started it yet. I'm still trying to figure it out, what I could do. So, I don't know. But that's irrelevant. Yeah.
Just gotta commentate whatever you're doing in the game. Have Runescape popped up in the corner.
200 mage
And-
experience drop. 300 mage experience drop. 0. 300
Yeah.
mage experience. Yeah, like, I don't know. Shit's boring. I get bored
You
fucking
could do
playing
that.
it. I get bored.
Well, I mean, if you're doing that, no shit.
I gotta get ready for PKing and stuff, though. And we're gonna segue that into what I did on RuneScape, which was nothing really, and then I went PKing with two of my buddies. We went to the Rev Caves and went PKing.
Oh shit, little spoilers for later on, but anyways, how'd that go? You get some sick loots?
I got 3 kills, my buddy got 1 kill, I died twice, and then my 2 buddies each died once.
Okay, did you get anything good from the kills?
Negative 200k, but we had fun, that's all that matters.
They drop like an IOU to someone else?
No, so I lost like 450, maybe 500k worth of PK supplies, and then I got like 200-ish k of shit from people we killed.
Anything good though from the drops? You get any cool
Just like rev
stacks?
bracelets and stuff, some battle staves, 100 dragon plate skirts. Not really, but
No.
no.
Oh, I was gonna
No.
say.
But it makes me want to get 89 agility, so I could safely go to the southern area of the rev caves where you can telly, all the good guys are,
Yeah,
and
okay.
then because an agility shortcut from the short end to the, what am I saying? Jesus, from like the low wilderness level, there's a
Yeah.
shortcut that needs 89 agility, I believe, to
Yeah.
get to the more risky and rewardy place, and where all like
Okay.
the better rev guy or where the rev guys are. I don't know. It just makes it much safer because like I mean, shit, you probably know how awful rev caves are. Me and my buddy would go. We're not good at PKing. I just want to say this, but I was blitzing. I was using the ice blitz thingy because I don't want to like AoE freeze my teammates. But I would freeze. My one buddy would telly block, and then my other buddy was just doing damage with us. Like, we're not good at PKing at all, and it really shows because we've just lost a lot of kills. It's so much fun though. It's a lot of fun to like clear a world. Like
You
all
go into full
skulled.
panic mode?
No, I don't. Well, no. I mean, I wasn't struggling too hard. The main issue is that like most people wear like full black D-hide and then they just pray magic the second that you see them. And I'll get like,
Yeah.
I got like 8 splashes in a row when my buddy splashed 5 telly blocks in a row. And so you can't freeze it. And it's just like, God damn it. I'm wearing like full Xerix and shit, right?
Yeah.
So, it's just like a lot of it's like we either 1, bring better armor, or 2, we have to be quicker and get them before they put their, prayers up. But the whole thing is just really fun. It's a lot of fun. And, we actually almost got 1v3'd. We jumped this level 125 who like almost instantly dropped my one buddy with like, I think it was his BGS or something with specs.
Nice.
He was like ripping them for like 60s. And like he was actually messing us up, and then a clan came in and tried killing us, so that was our excuse to tally out.
You go fight him. He's got auto tally it on. Everyone teleport out. Teleport out.
He was doing like he was flicking overheads really well, and he specced my buddy with like his BGS he was like praying. I don't think he was praying melee, and he had robes on, so you're gonna hit like a lot for that.
Yeah.
And plus, like, we're all laughing because this guy's 1v3ing us, so we're, like, playing even worse than we normally do. But, little fun fact, little true story, not really a fact. You know how, was it Sunday? I don't know. Whatever day you're in World, like, 368, you're at Rev Caves, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I asked you, we were PKing at that time, and I asked you, like, oh, you at Rev Caves, how is it? You're like, oh, it's okay, I died a couple times. And like I'm in like a Discord with my buddies, I'm like, yo, dude, you guys wanna go jump my brother? Like, we're not actually gonna kill him, we're just gonna scare him. And we're making jokes like we'd come in and teleblock you as a joke, but clearly taking the joke too far. Like, we weren't actually gonna teleblock you, but dude, we should go in there, I'll freeze him, you teleblock him, and then we walk away.
You teleblock me, some other team comes up and kills me.
Yeah. So we're like hopping worlds, and we're like, and I sent you like a message like, yo, like, how's 368? And you're like, oh yeah, it's good. And then, so like a couple minutes later, we log in, and I see you, and I'm like, oh, there he is. And I see like a clan of like 50 dudes fucking rush you guys. I see like everybody gets swarmed, and we're just like log. We just like instantly log out. And then like maybe 20 minutes later, we saw you're in the same world, checked, and you weren't at Rev Caves, and you're like, nah, fuck it. I died, so I didn't go back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Rev Caves, it's really fun to like run around in PK and stuff. Like we're really bad, but like literally our strategy is to like hopefully get a teleblock freeze, and then we just Gmaul, like rush them while they have overhead magic, and just hope we can spec them out. And it worked a couple times.
Yeah, that's basically the idea, is just to get lucky.
Yeah. Shit, a lot of fun though. A lot of fun PKing with like buddies and stuff. Even though we would get swarmed by like a group of 50. One of the times I died, a clan jumped on me, and I was very proud of like, they did 3 declaw specs on me, and I was able to like flick at the right time and tank it. Ate an AGS spec, like I ate like 6 or 7 specs in total.
Damn.
And I still died. I mean, I got declawed like a bazillion times in AGS, but
the end result was still the same.
No, but it was nice. Like, I would just kind of be like, wow, good fight as I die. Just be like a little passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Like, nice. Took you guys like everybody spec to kill me. All right, cool. I'm wearing robes the whole time. I got no tank gear.
GG.
Yeah. But, I didn't actually grind any Rev Caves. I only went through to PK.
Yeah.
And it kind of seems like it's pretty easy to live. The hardest part, I think, is getting to the Rev Caves, getting down to the bottom section of it.
Yeah.
Because there's that area where there's like 3 mobs or 3 guys you can kill, and then you can teleport as well. You can use like your pod or your glory to tele. And the 2 times I died, it was me trying to get to that spot to like log in and out and get PK or get PVMers and PK them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, what did you do this week?
Well, I guess first things first, as always, and this is my saga of dealing with these Airbnbs, still going on. Back with some not the greatest internet. So if there's any blips, I feel like I have to make that disclaimer every episode at this point. If there's any blips in the episode, it's due to this just fucking internet. Either we cut out sometimes, or I disconnect, or I have to switch to my hotspot. Anyways, but that being said, on RuneScape, I went to Revs a little bit just to try it out, but like I said, this internet's pretty bad. So like sometimes it's all right, but every now and then it'll just like get super laggy, and as soon as I start lagging out, I'm like, okay, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And then that's where you asked if I was still there, and I was like, nah, I'm not doing it anymore because I just started lagging hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty interesting there though. I just went there for a little bit. You know, nothing, not too big of drops. I died a bunch though. It's kind of interesting though. Like, I would go to a world and go to the Rev Caves, and there would just be like 20 stacks of like PVMers that got killed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it would be like full black D-hide, a shit ton of sharks, Cerebrews, super combat potions. I got killed the first time, and I would just run back with nothing except for maybe my blowpipe, and then I would just loot everything from all the other dead PVMers.
Yeah,
great place to go looting. But yeah, besides that, I was doing a bit of Winter Todd because I got a Master Clue Scroll, which I needed to get 85 fire making for. So I got that from 75. Holy shit, that's a fast skill. I mean, I know it's pretty fast to train, but I'm just surprised because, like, I've said it before, but I always feel like when you get to 70, that's when the grind starts to really hit you, or it starts to really start creeping in. and you're not able to just tear through levels like you are in previous levels. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of.
So, but Winter Dot, it's just like, it's ridiculous. Like, I was getting like 3 levels every single night.
Yeah.
Like, it was unreal. Such fast experience, but yeah, so I did that for the Master Clue just so I could get that Infernal Axe. Didn't get anything good from that clue, so yeah, that was just for the levels apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's basically my week on RuneScape. It wasn't super heavy this week, just because it gets hard with this, like, the shitty internet. Sometimes I'm a bit demotivated to get on and play. But it is what it is. The move-in date was December 1st, but that got pushed back another week. So, I'll be happy if we move into the place by Christmas time.
Yeah.
If we can have a Christmas in an actual permanent residence, I'll be pretty happy with that. That's the goal right now. Yeah, and then that's about it. Do you want to get into the news anchor mode?
Yeah, sure.
All right, news anchor Deegan, take it away.
So last week on like Thursday, 23rd of November, there was the beta test for Deadman mode.
Right.
I didn't do it, sadly, but they did tell us, like, we've asked like what kind of food and stuff you'd be getting, because
yeah, that's something we talked about when we first went through the dev blog that was released.
Yeah. So, like, after each success, like every time you beat someone in that 1v1, we were wondering what kind of supplies you'd be getting, because they kind of like wipe your inventory and then like give you food, so you're at a disadvantage. Anyways, so the food you'd be getting, and they released what it was a Sarah Brew, 2 super restores, a super combat, super range, 13 sharks, 2 Caramblons.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So they might change that on the actual Deadman mode thing, but that's kind of what they were using, and I would not be surprised if they'll stick with that. Pretty neat. But yeah, we'll talk about the amazing PvP updates that everybody loves to hear us go on about, because
this is great. And we get another episode of PvP talk?
Part 5 or 6.
This is fantastic. I'm hoping we get to the double digits. If we get 10 episodes in a row.
I'm pretty sure this PvP, I don't even know what you would call it.
PvP extravaganza?
Yeah, has went on longer than my school strike. It's been going on.
Yeah.
It's been going on for fucking
it gets a little bit tiring.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we might have to change the name of our show to the Neves Cave Podcast.
Yeah, something like that.
Anything else? That was the best I came up with.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so Mage Arena 2 has come out, and there's some backlash to it as always, but we talked about it before, but if you didn't listen or or knew or what, anyways, if you have 75 magic, you can go ahead and do it. You need to have all the god spells unlocked though.
Nice.
Yeah, the whole thing is to track down 3 demons. They're found within random locations within the deep multi-combat wilderness. You can look up, somebody plotted out where all the possible spawns are. Yeah, if you take too long, they will reset and you'll have to find them at different spawn points, I guess. They'll go to different areas. I think a friend made a video when he was killing the demons that you can kind of safe spot them. It's a bit tricky, but you can bring them out to their aggro area and mage them so you don't take damage. They do a shit ton of damage though.
I also saw a video as well. You can use the twisted bow against them.
Really?
Yeah, I was watching a YouTube video and the person was able to kill them with the twisted bow. So I don't know, because it does magic based damage.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a bug or...
Yeah, it might be a bit of an oversight, because you're supposed to only be able to do, if it's the Sarah Demon, that's weird, there's a Sarah Demon, but, you use, your Sarah Strike, yeah, And then with Guthix, you do the Guthix Claw, and then the Zamrock, you do Zamrock Flames. You're supposed to use your respective God spell, but I'm assuming it's because the Twisted Bow does, damage, like the percentage of their damage based on the magic, so maybe, or their magic level, so maybe that's why it's doing damage. Maybe another oversight. There's always one oversight, and we found it. But, hopefully that's not the case, because, everybody with their Twisted Bows, unfair advantage, all the listeners that use their Twisted Bows, go try it out. But, you'll, so once you kill a demon, you get one of the hearts, and you can actually turn in the hearts one at a time. You don't have to keep them all in your inventory.
Mm-hmm.
You can give a Collodion a heart, but once you give him all the hearts, he'll upgrade a cape for you, and, you get 15 magic attack from it, and 2% magic damage bonus, so that's kind of nice.
Sure.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool, the capes. Well, I think they do, but we'll get into all of this afterwards. All the complaints, whatever.
I got a whole list for you once we're finished going through this.
Yeah, nice 2 hours worth of content of complaints from the community. It's our new segment. But, that's Major Arena 2, little summary of them. The next thing was the Revenant Caves. We mentioned it a little bit, but, yes, the Revenant Caves they're freaking massive. It's a huge friggin' place.
It's pretty big.
I didn't realize how big it was until we were killing one person, and he took us from the south part of Revenants all the way past, like, the Ankus and towards the Green Dragons. Like a 6-minute run, pretty much. Like, we were chasing this guy forever. He didn't go at the north entrance for some reason, but I mean, he would have lived if he did. That's all I'm saying. If he's listening, he could have lived if he went at the north entrance, but
you live and you learn.
Yeah, so within the Revenant Caves, there's 2 green dragon spawns. There's greater demons, black demons, lesser demons, ice giants, Ankus, hellhounds, black dragons, and then Revenants. And the Revenants vary between like level 7 and like 100 and whatever. The Revenants are literally like a different type of, like, the level 7 would be like an imp, Revenant imp. There'll be a Revenant hobgoblin or dragon, giant or whatever, like all that stuff. And they vary from level to level. Every shortcut, I tried like 3 or 4 shortcuts and they all required 75 agility. I think one of them,
I wasn't able to do any of them.
One of them requires 65. I think it's green dragons to green dragons at the southern end, I think. And then there's 2 shortcuts at the Ankus, and then there's one at the Black Demons, and they require 75. But to go from Greater Demons to Revenants, you need 89. If you look up at a map while I'm explaining this, it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, generally, people will use their Burning Amulet to go to the Lava Maze, and they go through the north entrance of the Revenant Caves, and then they just run. This is the fastest way to get there.
When you say you use the Burning Amulet to get to like the Deep Wildy section, right?
Yeah. You use a Lava Maze teleport and you just run east.
Another way of doing it is this, because this is how I was doing it. I don't want to risk my 600 GP necklace. So instead I risk a 600 GP hatchet, but I take the canoe from Edgeville and you can take it right to it's kind of just north of the Chinchompas.
Yep.
And then basically you just run northwest a bit, and kind of same idea. So it's probably in the same ballpark as the Burning Amulet teleport.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Don't use the Revenant Cave teleports. They're trash.
Yeah, they're like 30k each.
Yeah. They bring you,
and if you want to get to the south entrance for whatever reason, you can just use the Burning Amulet and teleport to the Bandit camp. Holy fuck, I can't talk.
Yeah, the only difference, I think the Revenant Caves teleport brings you to singles combat, and then the Bandit camp is multi, but it's 30k as opposed to like 200 GP teleport or something, right?
That gives you 8 teleports too.
Yeah. So the Revenant Caves, none of the unique items had passed, and Dills was kind of worried when this was all going down. was like, what are they going to get? And the answer is lots and lots of alkables.
Yeah.
Some things that the Revenants drop are like magic seeds, rune plate legs, dragon plate skirts, battle staves.
Yeah, all that fun stuff.
And items like the Bracelet of Ethereum. And this bracelet, we've talked about it before, I'll just go over it quickly. It's a bracelet you get from the drop, on the drop table. Its alc value is 43k, so it'll pretty much always be worth that much. And what it does is when you like equipped it, the Revenants aren't aggressive towards you, and you'll become immune to their attacks. But it only works if it's charged with this stuff called Ether, which is pretty much always dropped from the Revenants. Each attack drains 1 Ether from the bracelet, and when all the charges are consumed, the bracelet will go to uncharged, lose its effect. You can't protect the bracelet no matter what. Like, even if you're 3-iteming or you're 1-iteming with protect item, whatever, you'll always drop it, and you'll drop all the Ether that is in the bracelet, too.
True. Okay.
Yeah, so,
seems a pretty common drop. Like, I only killed maybe, I don't know, a handful of revs, and I think I got 2 drops, and I also saw it drop for other people a lot.
Yeah. Pretty much everyone I killed, all the 3 people that die or 4, we got a bracelet drop. It's pretty common item. I think that's the whole point, though. It's supposed to be a common item. You're supposed to get it and lose it quite a bit. We talked about the Revenant Cave scroll, the teleport scroll. I wouldn't really worry too much about using it. It's, sell it if you get it, but if it drops down to a really low price, I would actually suggest holding on to them, because they're probably going to move the teleport to the north end, and then I'll make it worth a lot more.
Nice, that's a good prediction.
Yeah.
You're right there.
Yeah, so if it's getting down to the point where it's like 1k, just hold on to it. Yeah. One of the new items that they drop is the Ancient Crystal. So you attach into climbing boots to become Ancient Climbing Boots. I'm just kidding, but
they drop some PvP armor on us. They just said, fuck it.
So these crystals actually are like a tradable resource, and you use them in your player-owned house. You can build a wilderness obelisk, and it's a one-way teleport to any of the 6 current wilderness obelisk locations. If you have the wilderness elite diaries, you can choose where you're teleporting to, but if not, it's random, just like, all the other obelisks.
And we talked about when they first proposed this on whether it would stack with your spirit tree and your fairy ring, because it goes in the same hotspot, but with like I just said, your spirit tree and your fairy ring, you can combine the 2 to get both of them. It seems like that's not the case with this one.
Yeah.
It'll take up the full spot on its own, which...
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, they kind of have to. They can't, have a precedent where everything will be stacking, and now it's like a square. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You walk in, now there's 80 teleport methods, yeah. But yeah, if you want to build it, you need 80 construction, 4 ancient crystals, 4 marble blocks. You get 3,000 construction experience.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the PvP update. As you can see, a lot of things kind of got gutted with the voting. But, yeah. So that's kind of like the summary of the PvP update.
Yep. Now,
there's a lot of complaints. I think we should talk about them, cause
yeah, it has definitely made quite a big commotion within the community. So I don't know if you've seen every single complaint, but I feel like a lot of them are pretty valid for the most part. Some
of them, like Rev Caves specifically, it was like, well, what did you expect, right?
Yeah, sort of. So let's go back to the top, and I'll go down. I'll go through my little list here. It's a mental list, so I hope I don't forget anything. But when this dropped, again, I was at work, so I was just following it on the subreddit, on Twitter, and stuff like that, and just like, wow.
Yeah.
There was a lot. So, starting off with Mage Arena 2. One of the complaints was directed towards the demons, because they are basically just recolored lesser demons. Or, sorry, recolored greater demons.
Yeah.
And the first time we talked about the Mage Arena 2 in a dev blog, I think it was getting pulled or something like that, but they have the picture of one of the demons, which was the Sarah demon. He was just a blue demon with like a circle on his chest, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And the picture was captioned, "This is just a temporary picture. This is a temporary placeholder for the demons until we like come up with a proper design." It's not really clear on whether or not it's gonna be a permanent way it looks now, or if they're gonna change it in the future. But there's not really any unique designs for the Mage Arena 2.
Yeah, the Mage Arena 2 was very rushed.
Yeah,
like,
well, this whole
update
apparent. This whole update in general was pretty rushed, and like there's a few pretty strong arguments on it, but I'll go on that in a little bit. So you got that. I saw some people complaining about the design for the capes because they're just kind of like recolored Inferno capes.
Yep.
Not as strong of an argument because I feel like they do kind of stand on their own.
Yep.
The lore behind Collodion, or kind of like his dialogue and stuff, is pretty weak in the sense.
Sorry, there were some pretty big like typos.
Yeah, there were some typos. For instance, if you go and try to start the mini quest, and let's say you haven't fully done one of the god spells, so the picture I saw was the person hadn't done the Claws of Guthix or Flames of Zamorak. So he would talk to Collodion, and he would say, "You still need to learn how to cast Claws of Guthix, Flames of Zamorak, and Claws of Guthix outside of the arena." So not only is it repeated twice, but Claws of Guthix and then Flames of Zamorak. Guthix and Flames isn't even spaced. It's like one word.
Yeah.
Kind of squished in there. That's kind of another point on why it seemed rushed. Another one was the dialogue almost seems like, "Oh, I was trying to do a magic spell and oh, I messed up and now we got these demons roaming around. Go kill them for me." It wasn't anything like, these demons have come out of the fucking demon realm. I don't know. You know what I mean? Some type of lore. It was just kind of like I was trying to cast a spell and whoops, added one ingredient and now we got fucking demons roaming around. So, yeah, it's not too strong of dialogue there.
I think the biggest complaints was everything was a recolor from the demon hearts. They were literally recolored imbued hearts to the demons themselves, which are recolored greater demons. The capes are recolored of the Inferno cape.
Yeah, which the capes on its own aren't that big of a deal because they look pretty cool, but it's just when you put everything together,
it's really lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, a lot of people are kind of upset with it. Just because, like,
people were expecting the Mage Arena 2 to be similar to the Mage Arena 1, where the Mage Arena 1 is an actual arena, and you gotta go through this actual, like, mini-game sort of thing. It's like a mini fight caves, sort of.
Well, you cast a spell 50 times and you walk out.
Yeah, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you have to fight, like, a few monsters in the arena.
Well, the Mage Arena is, like, really easy. Like, you just cast a couple spells and you walk out.
Oh yeah, it's pretty easy, but if I remember it correctly, when you first get in there, you gotta fight, like, a series of, like, 3 or 4 monsters in a row. Where it's, like, kind of like Jad, where you kill one, then the next one spawns. Alright, we're pulling up the wiki.
Yeah, you fight Collodion, right? That's just pretty much it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, he changes, to different forms.
You kill Collodion, and then you can get your capes and stuff, and then you unlock the ability to use the spells, but to use the spells, you have to cast them, like, 50 times or something, 100 times in the arena, and then you get the spell outside of the arena.
But in the fight, it says right here, Collodion first starts out as a man, and then he shapeshifts into a Joker.
Yep.
And then a giant ice blue spider, and then he turns into a ghost, and then finally a black demon.
Yeah. You kill him to unlock the capes, and it's pretty easy. You just pray magic and you just use your spells on them. And then you unlock the ability to unlock the god spells outside of the arena. But you have to do, like, another little thing within the arena. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, that does. But anyways, people were expecting something similar because it's you're in an actual arena and it's kind of like an actual, like I said, it's like a mini fight caves, but like a very miniature fight caves. Because low levels can do it. But people kind of expecting something similar with this major arena too, but really it's just kind of go find these monsters, fight them with the magic spells, and then bring the hearts back. You know, it's pretty straightforward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people were just kind of expecting a little bit more.
Yeah. Apparently it's really quick. It can take like 20 minutes to do, and you'll get the cape. Pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that too.
You're saying it's kind of lackluster. I think the big thing is that it's really lackluster for the best in slot magic cape, and like compared to the Inferno cape, you know what I mean?
Well, comparing it to the fight caves, even
yeah,
the Jad fight.
Yeah, I don't know. I've yet to do it. I want to do it this week at some point. I was kind of just waiting for all like the hype to die down so I could just quickly do it without getting bothered by PKers and stuff.
Yeah. I'm waiting for better internet, obviously.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of worrisome, I guess. Just it's all recolored, and when they say like it's like the demons are just a placeholder, but I feel like it's gonna take a long time for them to get back to this.
Yeah, something similar to Neve's Cave, where they brought in Neve's Cave, and then it's pretty poorly designed. It was literally like, here's 40 rooms, we'll fill them with any monster that you could get on a Slayer task. And then eventually they changed to something that made more sense.
Or Zia, you know, like years later they start adding quests.
To Square.
Yeah.
And the quests and all that.
Yeah. But yeah, and the next thing is the Revenant Caves.
Okay, yeah,
biggest complaints are the drop table, I think. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a number of complaints as well. So, first things first, all the uniques, as in the Ethereum bracelet, the Ethereum, or the Ether, the Revenant Ether, the teleports, those are all just recolors as well.
Yep.
The Ether is just a different color of platinum tokens.
Yep.
And I've seen it where if you have, if you're colorblind in one of the certain colorblinds, it can look kind of similar to platinum tokens.
Imagine getting scammed. Oh my god.
Some people have been talking about where like you're just asking for people to scam with it sort of deal.
Yeah.
That one's, you know, that one's a little bit weird, but anyways, yeah, these are just recolors. The monsters in the cave, like the revenants themselves, are just basically ghostly looking versions of other monsters.
Yep.
And if you've seen the revenants from back in RuneScape 3 or RuneScape 2.5, because this was like the 2010 era that these were out, they were a little bit different looking. Yeah, these are just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the drop tables, that's been a huge complaint as well.
So you get about 2 mil an hour if you're killing revenants without getting bothered. Like if you were to not be hassled by clans and you can sit there and kill revenant caves, you get 2 mil an hour.
Yeah.
Even when you're getting bothered by them, you can still easily make like $1 mil an hour, which is a lot of money to be made that can easily be botted.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the one. When I first went in there and I was watching people do it, there was one guy I was chatting to who was all he had was monk robes and Elder Maul, and he was like, and from when I noticed what he was doing, he just like sat in the very bottom part and killed the one spawn, and then by the time his bracelet ran out of charges, he was like full on inventory or whatever. He just wanted to leave because he had enough money on him. And then he would just leave and come back. And he's a high enough level with like such little risk. It's not a big deal. You know, at most he's losing like 40k and then his food, I guess. But I feel like this is easily botted, and I've already seen loot bots here. When I went, I saw a lot of level 7s running around looting. And you usually see level 7 loot bots. So I don't really know what to expect. Maybe just because it's like, you know, the day one pretty much, where there's so many just dead bodies there, it's kind of worth it to loot.
Yeah.
But the big thing is that everyone's kind of freaking out about. It's a little silly, but there are drop tables. Like within each drop, you have a chance to get a noted multiplication. So like you can get 100 dragon plate skirts, which is 1 in 11,000.
Right.
I mean,
it's not every drop. It's just like 5 or 6 different drops.
Yeah. There's the plate legs. There's the dragon skirts. You can get like 8 magic seeds off a drop.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other ones are.
So I have it here. Yeah, there is. It's 100 times rarer to get this, but you can get it. You can get 100 times one certain loot, like you just mentioned. These are the rune plate legs, rune kite shields, dragon plate legs, dragon plate skirts, and then there's also a chance of getting with this. It's the same odds for this. You can get 500 onyx bolt tips and 500 battle staffs.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are complaining about that. It's not the fact that they're super rare. It's the fact that it just seems kind of private servery.
Yeah.
To get a noted drop of boom, 100 plate skirts, dragon plate skirts.
Yeah.
That's about 16 mil, right?
Yeah, so the big thing is those items are already at elk price, so it's not going to drop it even further. It'll just stay at that price.
Yeah, which is why they chose some of those items.
But I do agree, it's super private servery. It's literally Neve's Cave-esque in terms of like, what? That's dumb. And I get it, you want something that you'll probably lose if you die. You know what I mean? You die, at most you're keeping 4 of those dragon plate skirts, you know? If you're 3 items with protection and, 96 are given to the PKer. But the fact that like it's 100... So the big thing is if you're like an Iron Man, that's a lot of money for grinding rev caves. I mean, you're probably not going to be there grinding.
16 mil.
But it's just weird. It just doesn't really fit the game, but I can see why they do it because they have to make it worthwhile for people to go and grind them because there's no more uniques to be dropped.
And the thing is though, is like originally when they were pulling a bunch of items, a big theme that they had going was a lot of these items were going to be a gold sink within the game.
Yeah.
Now, none of them really passed. And if you want to know why, just go back and listen to some of the previous episodes. Not why, but some of our arguments against why we thought they didn't fit. And a lot of people kind of felt the same way, which is why they didn't pass. But anyways, it's neither here nor there. But this is the exact opposite of a gold sink.
Yeah.
This is like straight out bringing in a shit ton of gold into the game. For instance, again, we're going to say it, the plate skirts and the plate legs, you get that drop, that's 16 mil gold coming into the game because you're just going to alch them. Or whoever buys them is probably going to be alching them.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of weird. A lot of people are saying like pissed off somebody at Jagex HQ where they're like, all right, fuck it. Next time you're not going to be voting no on the on the PvP rewards.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this whole update seems a bit rushed.
Yep.
Not only just because of the recolors, the drop tables being kind of like, a bunch of just randoms, but oh fuck, there's there's kind of like a lot of reasons, the typos and stuff, but also like they pulled this up. Like a lot of people when the poll came out, nobody thought this update would be getting dropped on us 2 weeks later after the poll. People were expecting it to be coming out maybe in the new year or mid-December, something like that, but
yeah, at least, after Dragon Slayer 2, after mobile.
Yeah.
Like, have this be one of the things in the future.
Yeah, and at first I was like, well, I don't know if this was like put out, like, well, at first I was like not looking into it, but I was like reading posts and like arguments on like why this should have been delayed a bit more, but I saw something that made like some good points. We talked about in the past, like only probably like the recent past, about a bunch of quality of life polls and stuff that they want to bring into the game.
Mm-hmm.
And those haven't even come yet.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Things like the R-down Cape teleport on like giving you extra teleports, I think it was, or maybe it was teleporting you closer to the farm patch or some shit. Can't remember which specifically, but that was one of them though. You know, there's a few things on that line that like people are wondering, why haven't those come out? Why did this come out before those? Why did this update come out before the leather dragonhide range shields?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that will be linked into Dragon Slayer 2.
Yeah, maybe that was just an example though.
Yeah, there are like a lot of they do have like Dragon Slayer have a record of like pulling something, it passing, and they just don't implement it. And you see that all the time.
Yeah.
You'll like just see like a random like, hey, remember they said they're gonna add this? How come this isn't in yet? And it'll be like a screenshot of something that passed. But I don't know. I think they're forced to like, I don't know. I think they like were kind of forced to rush this update by like somebody. You know what I mean? I don't think Jagex wanted to release it.
The Chinese overlords? Like who? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's super weird. It seems like they're kind of forced to just, all right, let's get this out. And I mean, the Revenant Caves itself, it is really fun to go there with a couple of buddies and PK and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really weird. There's more green dragon spawns. I mean, I guess that's good. But like, I don't know. I feel like they just did a lot of updates and they did this update and like added all this stuff just for the sake of adding it. We're like, I don't think the community...
It's very bizarre.
I don't think the community has ever been like, hey, we voted on this 2 weeks ago, where's our big game-changing update?
Yeah, and like, I know the community was so split when this was getting pulled, but like, I feel like this does not help.
Yeah, it's gonna just make every PvP poll fail.
Like, people are just saying, well, shit, if I knew this was how it was gonna be implemented, I would have voted no on the Rev Caves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I know I was surprised about the items. I mean, I knew the ones that they proposed were gonna fail. They just, some of them weren't, I didn't find them very good. I didn't think they were really well thought out.
It's just too cut and paste from RS3.
Yeah. Some of it, and then some of it's just straight, like, again, I feel like we're rehashing the same conversation, but the things like that minus EXP genie lamp, I felt like that's like the most uncreative way you could have done it.
But I
literally a lamp that takes away experience.
Yeah, but would you like, if it was in the game right now, would you prefer an anti-EXP lamp or whatever over like 100 times drop table on like rune plate legs? Would you prefer the lamp over that?
I mean, that's the thing, because they're both very private servery. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I have no problem about losing experience, but having it come from a lamp that you rub, and then boom, you lose some experience. You put some 5 mil gold into it. You're just like, there's got to be a more creative way of doing that. Like, that's like the easiest. That's like the easiest way you could do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but an update like this, if it came out maybe the first or second year of RuneScape, which is when Zaya and Neve's Cave kind of came out, I kind of expect it. But the problem is like, we've seen things like the Inferno. We've seen things like the raids, the Chambers of Zarek. We've seen, even recently, the Gargoyle boss, which is supposed to be mid-tier content, and how well designed that was. So our standards for like updates now, I feel like, are a bit higher than they were 2 or 3 years ago. Which they kind of should be, you know what I mean? We know what their potential is. We shouldn't just settle for lesser updates because, we want more PvP content. Yeah, we want PvP content, but personally, I want it done up to par with the raids or the Inferno.
My big thing is that it comes off as like, people want PvP updates. Okay, let's, what does RS3 do? Alright, let's just copy and paste that. Okay, none of them passed. Okay, fuck. We actually have to come up with something. Let's just times 100 these, just give it 100 times chance to higher chance. Okay, we got the drop tables figured out in the Rev Caves now.
Yeah.
Fuck, what are we gonna do the demons? Here, let me go on Paint and just color over these. Alright, now let's just recolor this, and this. Where are the multi-zones? Okay, here. Okay, they can spawn here. Like, it feels like the update was put together in a night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like,
it's like that
put together on somebody's lunch break.
It's like
when
that
they're
awkward
okay, you got 5 minutes left.
It's like that awkward PowerPoint in high school that you had to present, and you clearly did it like 2 hours before class, and it's like,
yeah.
you even see like the hyperlinks from Wikipedia. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Oh, yeah.
And everyone in class is just like kind of sitting there watching, being like, this is so bad, and I don't care for this. I'm gonna go on my phone. I feel like that's kind of what's happening with the PvP update. That, or Jagex members are actually PVMers, and they really hate PvP, so they intentionally make it bad, so PvP dies out, and they can maybe they can do their clue scrolls now?
Yeah, maybe. But it's funny, because it seemed like they were so hyped over this update. Like, it seemed like they were so destroyed or distraught over the split in the community when there was like the PVM versus PvPers conflict going on.
But
it seemed like they were like, guys, come on, we all have to love this. And then they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Here you are.
Yeah. And I mean, they should have been more of a motivation for them to go, all right, well, we're going to wait 3-4 months. We're going to keep this in the back burner. We know people want this. We're going to slowly work on it. Make sure it's like, because imagine if this update was as good as the Inferno or Raids or something.
Yeah, you'd have PVMers being like, all right, as much as I hate going to the wilderness, that's a pretty fucking sick update.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to be getting to do the Inferno, or at least completing it for a very long time. And most players might not ever get to it. But I don't think I'm wrong when I say like 99% of the players say that's a fucking dope update, and I'm glad that it's as hard and as cool looking as it is.
Yeah.
We saw this with raids too, that when we voted no on some of the and when I say we, I just mean like the community as a whole, it didn't pass the polls.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a bunch of armors in the raids not pass. There was things like the Elder Armor and the Twisted Armor that didn't pass, right?
Yep.
And it's not like they came back one more time, and because they did. They came back with the Elder Armor and the Twisted Armor and the Ancestral again, saying, okay, how about this? What do you like about this? And then again, the 2 armors passed. Ancestral passed, but then Elder and Twisted failed again. Mm-hmm. It's not like they were like, okay, here's a bunch of resources you can get. You know what I mean? Instead, they came back with a bunch of different types of items. Like, sure, you got weird things like the Dragon Harpoon.
Yep.
That's kind of weird to get from the raids, but you know, it's there. You know what I mean? It fits more than, you know, just a bunch of noted drops.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I was kind of expecting something like that to be coming for the revs. I didn't expect them to pull, you know, 75% of the items twice in a row. They didn't do much to change it both times. And then they failed, and they were like, all right, fuck it. I'm all out of ideas.
Yeah, I feel like, they should have put more time in making it making it more like appealing for the whole community instead of people that just liked Rev Caves when they played it. I kind of think they were just hoping on like everybody played RS at that time and was like, I loved Rev Caves, I want it in this game, but I didn't like it when I played it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, okay.
But whatever. I'm fine with it is what it is pretty much.
Yeah, I hope they go back and fix it, because like, again, it's not like like a super big deal. The recolored demons, not a super big deal, but it's all about the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to have, I don't know. I want every update to be as best as possible that they can give us, because we know they can, right? We've seen some of the amazing stuff they've done before. We shouldn't just settle for shit just because. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know why.
Yeah. But the whole update is like a shrug. It's like, fuck it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope we're not missing anything, but I have something I want to play for us. Just a little clip from before. I'm just going to pull that up. While I pull that up, it's funny you mentioned the PowerPoint thing. I just want to bring this up real quickly, because this was just bad and embarrassing. When I was in grade 9, I had to do some music essay. I had a music class and I had to do some essay on, I can't even remember what it was, but some music essay. And I remember I copied and pasted so much shit that literally when I printed it out, I didn't even read it over once I printed it out. But when I got it back, there was a bunch of hyperlinks that were in blue and underlined in my essay. And he circled them being like, are you serious?
That'll get you.
Oh, it was so bad.
Yeah, easiest way to get rid of it is you highlight the whole page. You click the link, you click the color black, you just click that a couple times, and then you Control U, double tap that, so it underlines everything and then ununderlines everything, and you have no idea there's a hyperlink in there.
Yeah, see, I didn't even look over that. I just threw it up, and then in the middle of a paragraph, it'd be blue writing and then underlined. It's just so obvious, but anyways, this is a clip from couple years ago. It's from a Q&A. Mod Archie had some of the devs on both RuneScape 3 and Oldschool RuneScape, just devs that have been around for a long time.
Yep.
Some of the veterans in the company. And at the end, he asks them a question about if there's one thing you've learned at your time working on the RuneScape game that you wish you knew at the beginning, what was it? And the first answer was something like, I wish I knew how much party hats were going to go up because I would have hoarded some for myself on my personal account.
Yeah.
Right? But this was something, and then this is the response that Mod Mark gave, and he's the overseer of all of RuneScape, right?
Okay.
So he's the father of Jagex almost. So here it is.
Biggest lesson for me would be it's important to make sure that what you've got is working before you add something new.
Yeah.
It's so long that we've made the game where we've always been looking forwards. For such a long time we're update this week, and we just didn't have the time or actually the desire to look at what we already had. Because we were always focused on what was coming out in the next update. And I think it was probably about 5 or 6 years ago we actually realised that we should stop doing that and we should focus on making sure the stuff we've got works.
Yeah.
That is one of the reasons why we've got such a massive game which is full of things that just don't work, because we just took too long to get to a point where we realised that was a problem.
Yeah.
I know that sounds incredibly daft, but it's because we're always focused on what's the new shiny thing that we're doing.
Of course.
And we spend so much more time now looking at what already exists and making that function.
Yeah.
Things like the Ninja Team is a perfect example of that for us in RS3. But also just the way that the old school team work as well. Very focused on making sure the stuff that's there works in the way that it should. And if we hadn't spent such a long time before we realised that we really should be doing that, then we wouldn't have so many weird things in the game right now that we probably will never get to fix.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, it seems it kind of gets to the point where there are so many really, really good ideas, but you'll never have time to put all those in game.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, some wise words from Mod Mark. I saw that on Twitter, and I felt like that was kind of relatable.
I don't know, I just kind of feel like they're forced to push out this update, 2 weeks from the polls. I feel like that they were kind of forced to do it. That's kind of what I really think. Maybe they wanted to give it some time, but maybe their employers or something were just nope, get it out now. I have no idea.
Yeah, hopefully they go back and kind of fix it. I'm sure they're going to talk about it in the next Q&A. So stay posted, and we'll give you guys updates on it. Unless they just brush it off, and I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe next week there'll be more fucking PvP shit we have to talk about. Oh my god.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, dude.
I hope so.
It's the staple of our podcast nowadays. Anyways, I think that's it for the PvP related updates. I think that's it.
I'm sure there's another complaint somewhere in there that we're missing, but I can't think of it right now. So I guess it's safe to move on.
Yeah, so moving on to that, there's a deal on Old School, or not Old School, but RuneScape Premier membership, I guess.
The Premier Club. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get huge savings on 3, 6, and 12 months, like the membership packages. I don't know how much you're actually saving, but
I've seen some people saying that it's very minimal.
Better than nothing though. If you're expecting to be playing for a year, you can always do that. That being said, if you don't get anything within Old School for getting Gold Premier Club or whatever, you do get an RS3 though. So if you play both, it might be more worth looking into.
Mm-hmm.
You get an emote on RS3. So yeah,
depending on your what type of club membership you have.
Yeah. January 4th, that's when the Dragon Slayer 2 is going to be released, and later in January, they'll be handing out the OSRS beta testing, the first round of beta tests.
Mm-hmm.
And then June, I believe, in June they'll have Theater of Blood out.
Yep.
Their vampire-themed raid. And that's pretty much it. I'll just give us some little timestamps, little save the dates type of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, so with King of the Skill, we haven't really talked about it too much, but just a little quick thing is, right now, Wooks holds the record on King of the Skill. Bodhi used to have it, but now Wooks is in first. And,
yeah.
As of right now, it's, we're pretty much at the end of the month. I think Wooks is at 1607 total level. So there's still a couple days for people to make accounts and beat that, but yeah, pretty crazy. I didn't really think you could get that high of a total level, but people...
Yeah, it is pretty intense.
Yeah, people found little methods.
Persons.
Yeah. If you find anybody cheating within the King of the Skill, you can email oldschoolcommunity@jagus.com with the subject header KOTS tip off. And you can go snitch on them.
Oh yeah, be a little tattletale.
Yeah, dude, snitches get DDoSed. So heads up. I think that's it for the updates, though.
Yeah, one thing you missed was, for the Premier Club, there are 3 new emotions, or I think maybe just one emote, that you can get that's from the Premier Club, basically. Well, it's not from it. Anyone can retrieve it, even if you're not a part of it. Just go to Diango and Draenor and use the code Premier Club 18, all one word, and you'll receive that.
Is it... I think it's RS3 specific, though, right?
Nope, this RS3 specific is... the emote will display a shield depending on if you have bronze, silver, or gold. All right?
Okay.
Old School RuneScape, it's available for everyone. So, do you want to get your tinfoil hat out real quickly?
Sure. Hold on, let me put it on. All right.
I got mine on too. People were saying that the same thing probably would have it would have got pulled for Old School RuneScape, but with this PvP update making such a big uproar from the community, they were like, all right, this is going to be bad if we try to pull this, so let's just give this emote for free to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
yeah, I think that's it for the news, though, right?
Yeah, that's basically it for the news.
All right.
As for what is going on within the community... Oh yeah, I was going to talk about the King of the Skill. I guess you kind of stole my thunder there a little bit. But anyways, yeah, Bodhi, I think it was a week ago, he got into the number 1 spot. If you don't know, Bodhi is one of the bigger streamers for Old School RuneScape. And he streams Deadman mode and stuff like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, he got the number 1 spot in King of the Skill, and he said if anyone beats him, he will be giving them $10,000 cash.
10,000 or 1,000?
Oh, yep, you're right, 1,000. Shit, okay. Okay, anyways, Bodhi offered is offering $1,000 to anyone who can break. Sorry, it's anyone who can break 1600 total level in King of the Skill. So we post that, and then as Deegan mentioned, Wooks, who is another, I don't know if I want to say a popular streamer, but he does stream a little bit. He's just a pretty good RuneScaper in general, I'd say. He's the first one to beat the Inferno. He beat it on his Pure, too. I think he was the first one to solo raids. Do you know if I'm wrong about that?
I'm not too sure.
I think. Yeah, just someone who's kind of done a lot of intense things in RuneScape. Yeah, he beat it, so there, he wins 1,000. He's also the one who bugged out one of the Deadman mode tournaments. Not bugged out, but exploited it and ended up winning 10 grand as well. Good old Files.
My boy Files, dude, putting in work.
Yeah. So yeah, that went on. And then, lastly, I hope you didn't take off your tinfoil hat. We've talked about before. We're just going to touch on this because it's, with this sort of stuff, you never know if it's actually true or if it's just maybe a bunch of other people who are starting this kind of rumor and it's causing this like bandwagon to, like a snowball effect where all these people jump onto the bandwagon and makes it seem like there's more evidence than there is.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about it before with each Deadman mode tournament and stuff. There's always been like accusations towards certain clans with DDoS allegations. So I saw a video, I believe it was today, maybe it was yesterday, but showing some more DDoSing evidence, as well as there was some screenshots of some of the clan members getting inside information from a Jagex mod about certain PvP updates and Deadman mode updates. Again, these things are really hard to tell whether or not it's legit. Screenshots are easy to fake.
Yep.
So it might not be anything, but the only reason I'm bringing it up is it might catch a response from Jagex having to respond to it or something like that. So we might get some more information next week. But for now, it's all just speculation and rumors and gossip.
I mean, it's all accusations, and there's no hard evidence. I don't know. The whole thing is really... It's weird because the posts like on the subreddit are getting like hidden.
Yeah.
And that's from like...
Yeah, that's why I said it's conspiracy too.
Yeah. And I think if you mass report a post, it gets hidden automatically, but not removed.
Yeah.
Until mods look into it. But see, here's the thing. Since the update, I kind of stopped going, like, I don't know. The subreddit's just been, like, so awful with everyone just, like, these are what PVMers look like. This is a PvPer. I voted no. So I've been staying away from the subreddit just because, like, the same meme does kind of get annoying, but...
Yeah, some of them are pretty funny, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, like, the whole thing with them finding out about El Karad before everyone, like, there's no way you can know for sure.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. And again, it's all just kind of hearsay. Although the thing is, there is a Jagex mod who is known to kind of I don't want to say he's in the clan, in a certain big PvP clan, but he is definitely kind of close with them because he's advertised clan tournaments where you had to sign up on the clan's website, which is a big no-no because it kind of leaves you vulnerable for things of the game like your IP stolen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I say it's kind of a tinfoil hat conspiracy thingy going on because it could all be innocent, but we have seen some shady things go down in the past.
Yeah, it's all kind of like hearsay. You kind of have to wait for like an official update. Like, I doubt the mods will actually talk about it because it's kind of, I don't know, weird.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I just thought it was, it could lead to something more. So I was kind of just prepping the oven for a future episode if they do decide to talk about it. I think besides that, that was basically all that was going on within the community for the most part.
Yeah.
Alright, and now that just leaves us with the one last, well, kind of last part of the show, which it's time for... some good old lore. So last week we touched on the god Bandos, which means this week we'll be talking about Armadil, the one and only, or I should say, Armadil, the god of law and justice. So another god that there is not too much information known about them, but we do know that he arrived during the Second Age. It has been rumored that Armadil ruled the skies of Gielinor, as well as bringing the followers that were the Aviances, which are a race of like bird-like creatures. So most of Armadil's followers were eliminated during the God Wars, which is why there's not too much information. A lot of it has been forgotten. It really does not have too much influence in RuneScape these days. There's one small group of followers called the Guardians of Armadil, which can be found in the Temple of Ikov. An interesting note about these Guardians of Armadil is that their armor actually displays the symbol of Saradomin. Now, we're not sure if this is a mistake from Jagex, or if it's because Armadil and Saradomin are pretty closely aligned in their ideals. And actually, Armadil and Saradomin are more aligned than their two opposing gods, which would be Zamrock and Zeros, which we mentioned before, they were actually pretty much enemies. So the Guardians of Armadil are the only known human followers of Armadil within the world. But we do know there are still a few Aviances that are left, and they were frozen over during the God Wars, and that's the exact same place that they can be found today. Within the Temple of Ikov, the Guardians of Armadil guard an ancient artifact called the Staff of Armadil. And we talked before about the Elder Gods, and I might have mentioned that the Elder Gods also had artifacts that they used to help craft the world. Some of them have been lost. We do know of the one artifact, which is the Staff of Armadil. It is an extremely powerful god weapon, and it has a pretty important role in the history of Gielinor. We don't know when or how it was created, but we do know that it is placed in the Temple of Ikov. And there are actually no remaining temples for Armadil on Gielinor except for the Temple of Ikov. And I believe that's the brief introduction of Armadil for this week.
Nice.
Yeah, again, not a whole lot, but hopefully as each episode goes on, it'll kind of build upon each other and kind of create a better understanding of just the lore of RuneScape. A lot of it is missing. A lot of it is kind of left open-ended to kind of be filled in later on with quests, which they do get filled in RS3, but again, not really relevant for old school RuneScape.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say if some of these... It's hard to say if some of this information will ever get filled in, because I know there's conflicts with old school RuneScape and RS3 where they don't want to start changing the storylines. They kind of want to keep them canon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some of these things we'll just have to wait and see. But, yeah. That's it for the lore this week. Next week, I believe we have 2 more gods to cover. And, yeah, we'll see whether it's Zeros or Saren. Who knows? I'm not really sure yet myself.
Maybe even Mod Ash.
Yeah, the lore of Mod Ash. God Ash. Alright, yeah, before we wrap this show up, though, we asked you guys last week to send us in to send us in some song requests, basically. Let us know what are some of your favorite RuneScape songs and, kind of why, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does it remind you of? So, the first one was sent in by Grant on Twitter, and he said, Fanfare. Play that shit everywhere. Doesn't remind me of anything specific, just the old nostalgic feeling. So, here's some Fanfare. I can't remember how this one goes, but we'll have to see. Do you know the song, Derek or Deegan?
Don't think so.
Alright, well, here it is. Oh, I know this one. feel like this has to be Falador.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
The next one we got on Discord was from Para and Blacktail16, both chiming in with the same song. Can you take a guess?
Sea Shanty 2.
Yeah. Oh shit, it's loud. Good old Sea Shanty 2.
Oh yeah.
Just waiting for that one.
Is it me or is that song pitched up? Like, is it me or does that sound like a little pitched up?
See, I'm just on YouTube right now, going on Old School Runescape music. That's what the YouTube page is called. So I can't tell if this is like cut from like 2002. Because even the other ones seemed a bit. Yeah, it's the only one I can find.
I think it is a little pitched up. I don't know. It was weird though. First thing I know, maybe I'm just tripping.
Is this it? I don't know. I'm confused now. Yeah, I can't tell if maybe they've updated some of the music over the years and made it more like high quality, or if
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Well, if not, there's the remix. And lastly, this was sent in by Dustin on Facebook. And he said, Bittersweet Bunny. I don't know if you know. I've never heard this song before.
Yeah, I've never even heard of the name.
All right, let's hear it. Oh, it's loud. Damn, that's pretty good. Pretty solid song. What do you think?
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, you know what song I was thinking of when you said that?
What?
Look up Bunny Sugar Rush.
Oh, that was the one that came up right underneath.
I was like, I don't know. I thought that's what it was, and like, I had to just go check it now. Reminds me of like Animal Crossing. I don't know, like the talking, I guess.
This reminds you of Animal Crossing? This reminds you of like Banjo-Kazooie or some shit.
I have no idea where you like get that music from. I'm assuming like Easter or something?
Oh yeah, it's gotta be Easter. Okay, last one. This is another one of my my top fives. Yeah, that's a good one. You know where that's from?
No.
Evil Bob's Island. That live
Nice.
event. So yeah, this is all from the channel Oldscape Music on YouTube. So if you want to go back and listen to them, you can probably find them there. Yeah. So I guess that's it. I think we can. Bleh. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty safe to wrap her up.
Yep.
Again, keep sending in some tracks if you want to hear us play a little snippet of it on the next week's episode.
God damn, I hope we don't have to talk about PvP. I'm so tired of it. My mind just goes numb. My brain, my mind.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, if you want to get in contact with us, send us some music, send us your questions, tell us a story, feedback, whatever it is, whatever you can think of. You can find us on Twitter at The Wilderness RS. Our Facebook is facebook.com/The Wilderness Podcast. Our Gmail is thewildernesspodcast@gmail.com. Our in-game clan chat is WildCC. And our Discord is posted on the Facebook, and I keep meaning to do it on Twitter as well. So I hope I remember to do that. Hopefully this week I'll get that up there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and our YouTube channel if you want to rewatch the episodes. Find us at The Wilderness Podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
Do you want to plug your Twitch channel so you can get some people maybe checking it out if they're interested?
I will once I actually have like a stream schedule kind of set up. Once I figure out exactly how I'm going to go about it.
All right, so I guess stay tuned for that
Yeah.
for more information on that.
Once there's a reason to actually follow and watch, I'll let you guys know.
Well, you don't want to stream yourself watching Netflix?
Speaking of, dude, Mindhunters, everybody's got to go watch that on Netflix.
Never. Is it an anime?
Yeah. No, it's live action. It's, real people and stuff. It's like about these FBI agents, and they like kind of interview serial killers, and they like apply it's like a lot about like psychology and stuff. It's really interesting though. It's like a TV show. It's super interesting. It's cool. You guys should watch it.
It's kind of like a documentary-based show?
Not really,
Or
but there's comparisons on YouTube of the serial killers they interview and how they actually were in real life. And they're like very similar. The show does a good job like accurately representing them.
Are they interviewing like actual people who have...
Yeah, who are actually alive and doing stuff.
Like real characters though,
it's not
actual serial killers that have been... I'm getting...
It would be...
You know what I'm trying to say though.
It would be... this hasn't happened in the show, but it would be like Jeffrey Dahmer. They'd go and talk to him to get his insight on why he ended up where he was. I mean...
And then it's an actor playing Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yeah, except, Jeffrey Dahmer, literally just a random example who's not in the show, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. Super cool. It's like based in the 70s or something. I don't know. It's sweet. I should watch that. Very good to AFK shit on RuneScape and watch.
I may have to check that out. I still have to watch Stranger Things Season 2.
Yeah. I got the last episode to watch, so saving that for a rainy day.
Nice. Wow, we're under 2 hours. What happened here? I thought we're trying to push 3 hours every episode now.
There's no PvP updates to bitch about.
There was.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we kind of just talked about the topic as much as we could.
Yeah, we beat a dead horse, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't help that my fucking internet connection is just shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's gonna be a little bit longer till I can move into that awesome, sweet ass, top tier podcasting recording studio.
Yep.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right, guys. Tune in next week when we complain about PvP updates.
Oh, I hope we do. Yeah, that'd be great. All right, thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah, have a good one.
Appreciate it. Much love. Ta-ta.